Hello everyone and welcome to the OllywoodKnits YouTube channel. This is a podcast all about knitting, spinning, and all of the fiber related goodness that I get up to. This is just a regular podcast episode that I have not done in almost a year, so all of these whips are going to be brand new. I have one FO today, which I am wearing, so we might as well start with her. This is the Felix Pullover. I knit this, I don't remember, I think the Felix Pullover has a 6mm gauge, and I knit this on, I think 5mm. So, it's a simple raglan other than the eyelets, which are also simple. So I just went until I was happy with the depth of the yoke and split for sleeves and went on my way. I pretty much stuck to pattern other than, actually that's a lie. I did not stick to pattern at all, clearly. I did the sizing how I wanted. I did the body how I wanted. I also added short rows in the back to lengthen the back a little bit more than the front. I did all I-cord, other than my ribbing up here. I did I-cord cuffs and I did the I-cord on the bottom as well, just for kind of more like a blouse situation because she is chunky. She is knit with Miss Babbs Yowza DK in Plum. That is the, if anyone watched my 2022 recap, the first year I went to Rhinebeck, this was my dream yarn. So I saw it the first day on the Saturday, and I said, no, I don't need it because I bought this gorgeous speckly green, which I then knit into my Web of Diamonds test knit that I did for my 2023 Rhinebeck sweater. So this yarn, I had a dream about it that Saturday night. I was like, oh, I need to go back and get it because I dreamt about it. Who dreams about that? Like, who dreams about that? So that next morning, the bunch of girls were first in line to get in on the Sunday morning, and we all like just beelined it to Miss Babbs, and I got two skeins, two big baby cakes of the Yowza DK, and I've had it in my stash ever since. I just didn't know what to knit with it. Like, what would I knit with it? So, I didn't know, I thought I'd be playing yarn chicken if I did knit this at a DK weight gauge or knit a sweater at a DK weight gauge. I just wasn't sure what I was going to knit this yarn with. And so I decided in the end to go a bigger gauge and hold it with Drops brushed alpaca lace. And so this lace is not like a mohair. It's so much thicker than that. It knits up at a way bigger gauge than a mohair will. So, I mean, it's done now and I just finished it. Last week it dried in time for me to wear it this weekend when I went out with my girlfriends. And I just can't believe that I love it so much. And I've had so many compliments on it from people who just didn't even know I knit it. Like, they just thought I bought it. They asked where I got it from. They were like, oh, it looks like it's from H&M. And I was like, I knit it. So yeah, that's always a good thing, you know? So I thought, okay, it's gonna be so like bulky and overly thick that I'm not really gonna wanna wear it, but no, I can confirm, I'm really glad I didn't rip it out because I was going to frog. I was going to frog this whole entire sweater after I had like started the sleeves because I just wasn't sure about the fabric, but then I just decided to have faith, block it and see how it goes. And after I blocked it, it does sit really well and drape really well. It is really cozy. It's not, I wouldn't say it's like stiff. The fabric is thicker, it is warmer. You're definitely not gonna wear this in the spring. It's gonna be a winter knit, but I don't have a lot of just winter knits, and I feel like it's gonna wear really well because of the alpaca. It's beautiful. I love the color. Everything about it. So I'm so excited about this FO, and it feels good to have it off the needles because I cast this on at Rhinebeck this year. It was the perfect weather this year again, like our first year, and we had our Airbnb in the woods, so we sat outside, my sister-in-law and I, on the deck, and we knit and listened to, you know, a witchy audiobook for Halloween, and it was just glorious. We had such a great time, and yeah, it took me this long to cast it off. I think because I had other things on the knits. I had two other shawls on the needles that did make it into my 2024 finished or favorite knits. That both shawls made it. So I had to finish those. I really wanted to get those done. And then I had Christmas knits all of December. I did a lot of knitting for children and crocheting for children. So I didn't get this done until now, but I am really happy with it. And it feels good to have maybe at least one sweater this winter that I can finish and wear, which leads me into my first whip. So my first whip is another sweater that I've had on the needles since August or September, not sure, but a long time. So I finished it's in my last video, my favorite knits of 2024. I finished my daughter the Micah Raglan sweater by Hannah G Knits, and I took an embroidery class at my local fiber festival, and that was amazing. I loved it. If I have a clip, I will insert it because yeah, it's so beautiful. The class was by Knitted Bliss, and she embroiders on hand knits. And so I was like, oh my gosh, I love this. I knit a 2-year size. So I have time for my daughter to wear it. So it doesn't fit her yet. She's still a little bit too petite for it, but I think for next winter and the winter after, hopefully it'll fit her and I will have a matching one. So I kind of cast this on with my magic numbers in mind. So there's no pattern. I'm kind of just copying the Micah's Raglan with the cables in the Raglan increases area. I'm almost done. So almost done. I mean, I'm not done the yoke, but I mean, I'm almost, anyway. What I mean to say is I was going to frog this one too, because for some reason I had it in my mind that I didn't like the gauge of this sweater. I didn't like the fabric of the sweater. And I also didn't like this one. And these have been two, like, what are they? Languishing whips. Like they bit on the needles for what feels like forever and they won't get off. But it's not like this one. I didn't love knitting as much because it was like, it just felt thicker and it just felt bigger needles. My hands don't really like it as much. This knit is enjoyable to knit. Like it doesn't hurt my hands. I really, really love it. And I love the fabric. I think it's going to be amazing. But for whatever reason, it is languishing. So I used the leftover yarn for my daughters, which is Drops Merino, extra fine in their light gray color. And so my local yarn store, True North Yarn, I got my daughter's yarn there, and I had 2 balls left over from her sweater. And I kind of thought, oh, I'll just do a matching hat for her and I'll embroider the hat. And then I had this idea to do this. So I was like, I'll just use the yarn. Not really thinking that, oh, True North Yarn doesn't have any more of that yarn. I need at least 8 balls of it to do a sweater, or maybe 10, because they're 50-gram skeins. And I am someone who buys, like I buy an extra skein for every project I do. Because I hate playing yarn chicken. I do not want to play yarn chicken. So I was then worried about the colors not perfectly matching, and like they look the same, and like putting the 2 skeins side by side, they look identical, but I didn't want to see, a line. And so instead of doing helical knitting, which I'm not sure why I didn't, I just kind of switched it. Every time I came to the end of a row, I would just switch which yarn I was using. And I think I pulled the yarn too tight. And so you could see this like line of me switching the yarns. And it was not pretty. It was enough that at first I just ignored it. I was like, oh, it'll block out, it's fine. And then I kind of stretched it and like looked at it and I was like, that's not gonna block out. Like that's really bad. After I split for sleeved and started knitting like maybe like a hand's like that much into the body, like a decent chunk into the body. And I decided, no, I don't like this. I'm turning right around and I am going to frog. And I did. I frogged all the way back up, well into the yoke. I've already knit maybe an inch since I frogged it. Very happy to have got it done. Like I feel like it was just like a sigh of relief, because I just thought the whole time, like, is it gonna block out? Is it not gonna block out? Am I gonna like it? Am I not gonna like it? I'd rather just frog it now and know for sure I'm gonna love this sweater and it's gonna be an heirloom sweater, especially being the sweater that matches my daughter. Like I'm gonna wanna wear it forever, as long as I can. So I'm glad I made the call to go back and do that. Yeah, and then I will embroider right there to match hers. Or did I do it on that side for her? I did it on this side. So I'm going to match mine to hers, and then, yeah, I gotta get knitting her more things and embroidering them because it's just so much fun. I love embroidery. I am so glad that I picked up that skill, that new hobby, because it translates, like it works really well with knitting, but it also is its own thing. Like I've done a couple of hoops too, and like honestly I loved coloring and like coloring books and stuff like that as a kid. I was really artistic, really creative. I just wanted to be crafting all the time, and so I feel like it just fits me perfectly. It's like using really thin yarn and coloring in the lines, you know. It's so fun, and I can draw my own designs too, with water soluble pencils, and it's just so fun. If you don't embroider but you think like you loved coloring as a kid and stuff like that, you might want to get into it, and then you can do it on your knits, and it's so much fun. So yeah, this project bag is actually also from Miss Babbs. It's got gnomes all over it and they're little crochet flowers. It's got dog hair all over it, but otherwise I love this project bag, and I really wish that I had also picked up, she had like a llama and a sheep one. I just kind of wish I picked up like the other two as well, because I use this all the time. But yeah, so that's whip number 1. Whip number 2, I'm going to talk about briefly. This was like supposed to be a comfort knit for me. My daughter loves the movie The Lorax. We don't watch a lot of TV. We try not to keep it on, but like on Fridays, I always put like a kids movie on, and she doesn't really watch it, but she'll like play and like dance to the music, and sometimes she'll watch for a little bit and, you know, whatever. The Lorax, she loves the truffula trees. So I actually made her some truffula trees with palms and dowels and little pottery pots, and she loves them. They're so cute, if I do say so myself. And then I just felt like, why don't I knit a Thneed? Like I want to knit the Thneed. I'm having a hot pink moment too. Like all of a sudden it's my favorite color, and I want everything I own to be hot pink, which is not like me. Normally I'm a very muted, neutrals, green. If I do have color, like nothing crazy. All of a sudden hot pink is my favorite color. So I wanted to knit a Thneed, so I did. I cast on a traditional Thneed. I was just gonna do a long like tube scarf thing, but increase so that it's like thicker in the middle, so I don't wrap around twice. I just wrap around once. You get the thickness that you need here, and then you can tie like the ends in a knot or something, and they'll come down really long. That took forever on 5mm needles. It was taking me forever. I had surgery in early December, and I was really nervous to be put under because I've only been put under once before, like 10 years ago. And so I was really nervous. So I was like, let's cast on like a comfort knit, you know, something I can knit on when I'm recovering that is just gonna bring me joy and make me happy and not be too much brain power. And so I did. I cast on this Thneed, and safe to say it was not enjoyable to knit. I started on magic loop, and then I switched over to 16-inch circulars thinking that would help, and it did help a bit, but it just wasn't enjoyable. It was not enjoyable at all, and maybe it was just because it was too simple that it was boring. I don't know. But anyway, I decided, I got more than halfway. I started the decreases. I think I was like 7 decreases out of 22 decreases. So I was like 3/4 of the way through this big ass thing. I frogged it. I realized it's just not bringing me joy, and it's something I'm probably not gonna wear. So I decided instead, I have been wearing my Mobius cowls. I have 2. Actually I have 3. I have a holiday one, which I didn't wear this year. Oh, I forgot about it. Oh no, I should have worn it at the holidays. Anyway, I knit a holiday colorwork one last year, and I knit Andrea Mowry's Frame Your Face cowl for Rhinebeck. And then I also had a fluffy It's made out of Illimani's Feli yarn, and it's like a really fluffy alpaca. It's like almost like this, but just a worsted weight gauge. And I knit just a Mobius cowl out of it because I got the yarn on sale and I did not know what I was going to do with it. I wear that cowl more than any other minutes. I wear it every day, and my daughter loves it. She buries her face in it when we do our carrier walks. It's cold here now, so I wear it all the time. I thought, okay, you know what? I'm having a hot pink moment. Something that's low commitment is a cowl. So I have recast on a cowl, and we're going for it. I'm not very far into it, but I've only been working on it for like a day. So I feel like in a week or two, it'll be done. It'll be seamed and I'll have it. But the thing is, I have so much yarn left over. So let's talk about the yarn. I am using, oh no, I don't think I have. It's just Sandnesgarn Sunday. This is pink lilac, again, frogged. And then of course I'm using Drops Brushed Alpaca in their Cerise color, which is like cherry, but it's really a hot pink. Like this is hot pink. This is not cherry. This is hot pink. This is magenta. So it's turning out beautiful. I love like the colors I get with it. It's really, really beautiful. I love the drape of this. So because I have so much yarn left over, I'm going to do a cumulus blouse in a 5mm gauge. So it's going to be loose and drapey and airy, and maybe a little bit oversized, maybe a bit more oversized than this. Like this comes down like my armpits here. My armpits up here, and it comes down like this. And I like that. I don't like any knits to be up in my armpits. I'm not a tight knit person. I'm not a tight sleeve person. In sweaters that I buy and in sweaters that I knit, it's just not my style. It's not comfortable. And so I'm never going to attempt to knit a sweater that's like, you know, tight and fitted. It's just not me. So I am going to do a loose, oversized, hot pink cumulus blouse. I think 5mm will knit up really, really quickly. So I'm going to get this cowl done first. I'm going to wash it. I'm going to block it. I'm going to wear it for a bit, make sure I really like it against my skin. Make sure my daughter likes it against her skin. She normally does love the Drops Brushed Alpaca. But this, I don't know if it's because of the amount of pigment they need to get this rich, like this deep, deep color. It's not as soft as like the light green that I've used and the beige that I've used. It's just not, it's not as soft. It's quite rougher. But I think once I wash it, like it doesn't feel terrible knit up either. It feels better knit up. And then I think once I wash it, it'll be even softer. So I gotta get this done. My daughter goes to bed at 7 and she goes to bed with me. She does not sleep without me, right? Ever since she started teething, she will not sleep without me. And I'm okay with it now that she goes to bed at 7. She wakes up at 7. It's wonderful. So I put her to bed at 7. She falls asleep pretty quickly. And then I roll on over to the other side of the bed and I put my neck light on and I put, Netflix on or YouTube on or whatever I want to watch, or audiobook in my ears. And I knit for, I can get 3-4 hours of knitting a night now. That's amazing. So I feel so much better as a mom too, so much more patient when I know at the end of the day I get that break for myself. It's just like, I can breathe. So, and then it's also like, I do want to cast on these projects and I do want to knit on these things, but if I don't have that much time to knit, I'm never going to get them done. And that also stresses me out. I know it shouldn't matter. I don't have deadlines for any of these knits. Like there's no deadline other than, winter's going to end in a couple months and I want to wear them. But then again, we don't know what spring's going to be like. Spring could be cold. There will be lots of sweater time for spring. So who knows? But it is good to have like a few hours to myself at the end of the night that I can try and get lots of knitting done. So so I'm going to try and get this done in the coming weeks and then cast on my cumulus blouse after I finish my Micah's Raglan adult, which I don't think it is a pattern, but it could be. Should be because I love it. But anyways, very happy with this one, and this bag is by the Kitchen Sinks shop and I got it at the Berry Fiber Festival and I adore it. So it is one of my top favorite bags for sure. Next project is crochet. Actually, you know what? I'll do crochet at the end. I'll do crochet at the end. I'm gonna talk about this one next. This is a cute little bag I got at Indigo the other day. I walked right by it and I was like, actually, that's like a $5 bag that I could use for like socks and stuff. So I actually grabbed two. I love it. It's my color all the way. And I put my daughter's hat in here. So my daughter, I knit her a beautiful muscle bra and she loves it, but she would rather cuddle it than wear it. And I think that's because it's too tight on her head. But we're getting to like negative 20 degrees here now. It's cold. And I have nothing to put on her because she just won't wear anything. We're not really, I don't take her outside without a hat or a hood or anything like that. But just even taking her like in the car seat from indoors to the car, I'm like, oh, I just wish I had something on her to keep her warm. So I am knitting her this. And it does have a pattern and I don't know what the pattern is. I think it's a free one from Drops, if I'm not mistaken. So I will list it below. I will link it below. It's a free pattern online. I'm just on the webpage following it. I am using Tynn Silk Mohair in the color 4244. I think it's Mauve, if I'm not mistaken. I think it's called Mauve. It's a beautiful, like dusty rose. It's gorgeous. And then I am also holding it with Double Sunday in their ballet shoes. I think it's called ballet slippers. So pretty. So this is turning out to just, it gives the most beautiful halo and just the color is so gorgeous. So I'm gonna knit her. She's kind of in between sizes and she's got a big head on her. So I think that's what went wrong with the muscle bra. I did between baby and toddler size, and I think I should have just done a toddler size because it's too tight on her and she won't wear it. So I might frog it, re-knit her that, or maybe put it with a mohair and then re-knit her that so that the yarn will stretch over to the bigger size. But anyway, I'm doing this one in the toddler size and it has a lot of stretch obviously because it's 2x2. So this is gonna fit her for a long time, I think. So I'm gonna knit it like extra long. Maybe I'll knit like the 3 to 4 year length and then I can just fold it. And so she'll be able to get lots of wear out of this one, I think, for a few winters. And then, you know, I'm sure by 3-4 years, I'm sure I will knit her plenty more hats. So yeah, I'm not worried about this one. I don't have any stitch toppers on this one, which is not like me. But I have been knitting this like crazy the past, I only just cast it on Saturday. It's now Monday. So I would like to get this done this week. So it's kind of my, every time I have a spare moment, pick up, knit, and get something done on it. So I can get this on her head because it is cold. And my baby she's crazy. She's like me. She goes out without a coat. Just kidding. Well, she does actually, because you can't put coats on babies in car seats, but she has like 3 blankets on her and yeah, she's fine. Anyways, now I guess I can talk about my crochet. So this is my last whip. This is also has been languishing for a while. So I'm using Lion Brand's Heartland, and I am making, in my favorite knits of 2024, I showed these like hanging bags that I made. They've got little toggles that go through them and they match the stain of my spinning wheel. So I made 3 of those to hold my fiber when I'm spinning. So I made 3 because I usually just do either 2 or 3 ply. So I can weigh out my yarn, re-braid it up, and then put that in the bags. And then whichever one I'm spinning hangs from the tension knob on my wheel. They look really pretty and they're really functional. So I decided I would like to make a big ass project bag. I'm sorry for the swearing on this vlog too. Not usually my style, but I'm feeling feisty today, clearly. So I am just getting through the last row of the base color, and then I'm gonna switch over to this lovely beige color, and we're gonna go up until, I don't know, maybe here. I'll put a big handle in it, and then 2 toggles to close it off. And that'll just be a really nice little project bag for like around the house. And I'm really excited about it. Clearly not enough to continue working on it. I put it down for Christmas time to do like all of the kids' knits, and then I never picked it back up because of my sweaters, and this sweater I really wanted to get done. So yes, I think the plow is going by. Anyway, I am very happy with this sweater, and I cannot wait to get that Micah's Raglan adult sweater off the needles so that I can wear it or embroider it. I mean, I guess I could embroider it now. Like I could split for sleeves, block it, and then embroider it, and then go back and knit the rest of it. But I think I'll just do it in order. I'll just knit the sweater, embroider it after, and then yeah, and then I'll have a beautiful matching sweater to my daughter to wear the end of the winter into the springtime, maybe for her first birthday. It's in like 6 weeks, so maybe for her first birthday I'll wear it with her and we'll match each other. I don't know. There's so much to think about and so much to do. And yes, I hope this week I can get my Thneed inspired cowl off the needles and wear it for you next time. And hopefully I'll have my cable raglan split for sleeves, and hopefully I'll have my daughter's hat done. Oh my gosh, there's so much I gotta do, but I am glad that I made it on here to speak with you. I hope you are all doing really well. I hope you're all knitting tons. Whatever you're knitting on, please link it down below. Let me know. And yeah, like let me know any patterns you're loving. I don't know, other than my cumulus blouse that I'm gonna do, I have no idea what I'm gonna knit next. I've got tons of yarn in stash. I've got tons of plans. I keep seeing that, was it the Busan sweater by Ague Knits? I keep seeing that everywhere, and I have the pattern. I want to knit her so bad. She has like the funky cable down the, not funky, but just like a very ribbed, gorgeous, simple but elegant cable down the very front of it, and I want to knit it so bad. I recently found three, not four. I have 4 skeins, but 3 skeins of Malabrigo Ultimate Sock in the color Ursula, which is like this crazy purple, gray, speckle, like, I don't even know, like it's definitely not a tonal yarn. It is a crazy variegated, and I want to knit, since I have 3 skeins of it, I bought, I think I bought Sandnesgarn Tin Silk Mohair in the color, oh, I think it might actually be Heather, which is the color of this. This is called Heather. I might have bought that in Heather as well. And it is just the perfect purple to go with that base yarn. And so I think I'm gonna knit, I can't decide what I'm gonna knit with it. I can't decide. Do I do a pullover? Would you do a pullover with something that's crazy variegated, or would you do a cardigan that's crazy variegated? Because I already have my pink cardigan that is quite variegated with like the black and gray speckle underneath the silk. So I don't know. Drop me in the comments what you would do with a very high variegation yarn. Also, should I do helical knitting, or should I just let the yarn do what it wants? They are crazy, crazy variegated, so I just don't know if it's even worth it to, like, I know with my beautiful cardigan that my sleeves are a little bit different from my body of it because of the difference in radius, the amount of stitches. It does change it so much. It doesn't bother me in that sweater, but I would hate to get to the end of a body and then start the sleeves and the sleeves be different in a way that does bother me. So, but I can't stand, it would just be so annoying to knit on something and have 4 balls of yarn hanging from my project. I think that would really bother me. So I don't know. I don't know what to do. I definitely am feeling pullover, so that it's a statement piece. But I would like another cardigan in my wardrobe. So to be fair, I have more cardigans than pullovers, I think, that I actually wear. I don't know. I don't know what to do. Anyway, it was nice chatting with you. Thanks for listening to me if you've made it this far. I hope you liked this video, and if you didn't, then I hope you like my next video. Alrighty, bye everyone.